Is.
Hi, Cameron.
Hey, how's it going, Scotty? How you doing?
Good. How are you doing, man?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good.
You seem good.
Chilling.
I have to give you a compliment
Uh-oh.
before we kind of get into all of it. But you're one of the most chill guys, and you have one of the most relaxing voices too. Like when I'm listening to like the Melody Makers, your podcast, I just like you're just so like just I don't know. You have such like people say there's eye candy, there's also ear candy for voices, and yours is very like soothing. I don't know.
Oh man, I'm so flattered. It's all a facade. It's AI, dude. I'm
Oh,
just
okay, okay.
I'm a phony.
Well, I just wanted to throw that at you, but
I appreciate that, dude. Thank you.
no problem. Yes, Cameron here has an amazing band. Oh, wait a second. I forgot to do this.
Oh, hey.
I'm so sorry. I had to stretch. Had to stretch. Oh, sorry. Yeah, he's in a band called Nothing Special,
Uh,
and they are special, by the way. And he also has a awesome brand new podcast called The Melody Makers. So we're going to kind of dive into that. But first of all, I got to ask you, is it weird, like when you were dreaming of like being involved with music and stuff, and then kind of where you are now, you're like, man, I'm playing shows, I'm with different kinds of bands, meeting great people, like just the experience, like just, did you ever think like I'm going to be there one day or what?
dude, my gosh. I don't even I don't even know. It is weird. It's for sure weird because like dude, I want to say I you might not see it from like somebody who is like the lead singer of a band and hosts a podcast, but like
Yeah.
I'm honestly like very introverted. Like I don't know I feel like it seems contradictory, but like I don't know. I'm an awkward dude, so it's like I always like fantasized the idea of like playing shows and stuff like that and like being in a band and stuff.
Yeah.
And I think like when we were getting together and writing the songs and stuff, it was like, oh yeah, that'd be a neat idea. And then when it actually started happening, it's like, oh shit, no, this is actually happening now. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. No, we've only known each other for just a little bit of time, but I shared a video when I had this pink guitar when I was younger as my first guitar, and just trying to act like a rock star. Because I remember you were talking with Ben Hirschfield.
Hirschfield. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Newton Studios. Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. And you're talking about like you were grabbing the mic like a broomstick or something, and like and you were like going for it with I forget who it was, like Disturbed or something.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And it's like that moment, yeah, you get that guitar and you don't know what in the world you're playing, but you're in it, man. And I look like an absolute ding dong and a fool, and it's so freaking cringe to watch, but it's hilarious. Everybody starts for something like that. Did you
Yeah.
have anything that is evidential that you can show us or explain to us
God.
that's like that?
I don't think any like physical anything or like no recordings or anything anymore, but like
Oh, come on.
shit, man. Dude, most of that honestly was like just from like childhood and just like loving music and like
Yeah.
I don't know, hiding in my room and like I mean I probably have like some crazy cringy lyrics that I wrote when I was like 12 that I could send to you or something, but like that I don't know if I want to ever see the light of day. But no, definitely a lot of cringe up on the way for sure, dude. Like I even I remember when we were writing so the first song, right, that comes off of the album is I Don't Care.
Mhm.
And that one, dude, we started writing, I think I was like 19 and I'm about to be 29, you know? So it's like a
Oh,
long time
serious?
coming.
Wow.
Yeah. Oh, dude, honestly, most of our songs like were just kind of banked away. Cause like I said, a lot of what we were doing was just like, it was like, oh man, it'd be cool to do that someday. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
But
yeah, yeah.
like
Okay.
we formed it over the years. But anyways, I still remember writing that song. It was with our original guitar player. His name's Nick Ebert. Shout out to Nick. That guy's awesome. But yeah, I remember we kind of like fleshed out like the guitars and the drums, and I'd written some lyrics, and he was like, "Well, what is that gonna sound like?" And I was like, "Ah, fuck, you're gonna make me do this, man." You know? And so I recorded like a video of myself just like singing over it. And I think I listened back to it like a million times like before finally sending it because it was just like, oh God, like I can't fucking sing, dude. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
yeah.
And I don't know. It's just like I think the cringe factor is like one of those things. It's like, I mean, you're your own worst critic. You know what I mean? So it's like
100%.
you kind of like have to like I think by doing that, right, like recording myself, listening back to it, in a way, it was kind of like exposure therapy to myself.
Yes.
Yeah, right. And like because eventually it hit a point where I was like, yeah, yeah, whatever, I'll send it, and send that one off, and then like, oh, I have another melody in mind or whatever, and then I'd record that and then send
Mhm.
it to him, and you know what I mean? Just kind
Oh
of,
yeah. Is that what you do now? You kind of just do the same thing, or as
kind of
far as
sort
like
of,
getting the melodies and then sending it and seeing what works, or do you actually have
yeah,
do you actually have a like an interface and whatnot and record at your house like actual
yeah.
decent?
So I'm recording this through my Scarlett right now.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, I do
yeah.
Scarlet too. It's so
Yeah,
convenient.
dude, it is. Yeah, no, and I use GarageBand. I'm very very basic, but I use all that. And
It
we
works.
yeah, no, it works well. But yeah, I'll just like sometimes like just if I have a melody in mind or whatever, like usually it comes to me like when I'm driving on my way to work or
Yep.
something like that, and I'll just like do a quick like voice memo in my phone, and then like at a later date, I'll either record it here at my house by myself, like I said on GarageBand, or I'll meet up with our lead guitar player Mike, and we'll record it at his house, and then yeah, just kind of build on it from there.
Now, do you so with the lyric thing or the melody thing,
Mhm.
do you I remember you said by the way, if you guys haven't listened, you should check out the his podcast actually. I only say the Ben episode because you guys had a lot to that kind of I was very curious of, and because he's a engineer and whatnot and producer and
Yeah.
and musician. I know he's a musician too, but um
Yeah, yeah.
there's something you said that I was like, okay, good. I'm not the only one. And it's not that like I didn't think anybody did, but I think it's that kind of thing where you kind of isolate yourself when you're kind of like, am I the weirdo? Like, am I the only one that kind of does this kind of thing? And it's that thing where you have the song, you have this melody stuck in your head, you get it down, but you go, I need to sit on it.
Yeah.
I need to back away because right now this I know it's what I got, but I don't think that's what it is though. That's not what it is yet.
I have to have some kind of and I feel like I have to have some kind of passion in it. So that's why like I said, like I
Okay.
sit on it for a while to like make sure like I actually like what I've done
Okay.
before I send it off to the guys. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Um
Okay.
yeah, yeah, if that makes sense. Yeah.
Okay. I didn't know if it was the thing where you kind of go back and forth and go, well, because that's what Aaron and I I know I got many projects, but Aaron from the Spacing Effect, like I'll do a vocal take on something and I'll send it to him and he goes, I like the verse, but I'm not sure about the chorus. So then I
Yeah.
jump back into it and go, okay, how do I approach this differently? So hence for me, I sit on it a little bit because then I got to get that idea that I just did, kind of need to wipe
Yeah.
that from my mind and then try a different approach. So
Right. Yeah, I
that
mean,
yeah.
yeah, no, I mean we definitely do have like more of like a collaborative take on it because dude, like the last song on the album was called What Was It Like? Originally that was actually supposed to be an acoustic, but we
Really?
ended up yeah, 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 it was. And it's that's also in the works by the way. But
I think you should because that's my favorite song off of Homesick.
hell yeah, dude. Yeah, that one that's one of those ones like I said like I was literally sitting in my room on my Mac watching Ted Lasso
Uh-oh.
and I kind
Oh,
of
there you
came
are.
up with those oh shit, did I cut out?
Yeah, yeah, it froze. You're watching Ted Lasso. I got that. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I was watching Ted Lasso and like I was just holding my acoustic guitar, that dude right there, and I started coming up with those root notes that and like
Mhm.
I started doing that, and I was like, I paused it, and I was like, actually, let me write this down, like see if I actually like it in a couple days. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I did. I recorded it really quick, just on GarageBand, and yeah, like a couple days later, I was like, no, actually, maybe I might be able to build off of this. I was like, I actually think I still like this, you know?
That's
And
great.
yeah, and that's kind of how that whole thing came about. It was just like layering it, layering it, layering it. And then like I said, I sent it off to the guys and they're like, no, yeah, can we make it a full
Okay.
band song? And I was like, yeah, let's make it a full band song then, you know? And
Nice. Good. I'm glad because
yeah,
that's that song hits so hard in so many ways.
sick,
And
man, hell
there's
yeah.
and I have to admit, like I think I was really impressed. I don't know if people know, but how you and I met was pretty much from the Filthy Kids playing at
So
Audio Nerd,
good.
right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay, so we checked out your guys' album, right? So we're listening to it, and then it was shortly after that we had our radio interview at oh, was it UC Davis? Yeah, UC Davis, I believe. And I
Oh,
can't remember the show. I can't remember the
the
gentleman's name. He
Muse
was
Syndicate, right?
yeah. I think that's what it was.
Yeah, dude, he's a good man. Dude, I love that guy so much. Yeah.
He's a sweetheart, and it was a great time. And right before, I think I might even have some video, but me and Jesse and Johnny were just like talking like, oh God, you listen to the Nothing Special album? Oh yeah, dude, it's so good. It's like we're just going on and just loving on you guys.
I swear there's a ghost in this room. I change the sheets, but they still smell like you. There's gotta be something I can do to find a way to just forget you. I did it for you, jumping ship. I hope the waters were ice and cold. And when the storms come rushing in, I hope I finally get to see you
Man,
fall.
I guess I never really thought of myself as like a musician, like straight up. Like, I mean, it's just like, yeah, I don't know, man. I just kind of like belt it out, and then like, if it hits, it hits. You know, I don't know. I'm like, if I like it, I like it. If I don't, I don't. You know, I don't
Well,
know.
did you ever take any lessons, or was it just kind of like you would just sing along just to things and just kind of grew a love
I
for it?
Yeah, I think like it was definitely always just like a love for music. Like I said, or like I said on the Ben episode, like growing up, like listening to all kinds of different stuff. Like, dude, my like entire like catalog of like musical intake is I feel like very wide because like
Yeah.
my dad was into like specifically thinking of my youth. You know, my dad was super into like Third Eye Blind, Blink 182, Green Day, 3 Days Grace, you know what I mean? Stuff like that. And like on my mom's side, we got like the 80s, you know what I mean? NWA. Dude, I listened to a shitload of Easy E growing up, you know what I mean? Like, you know, I was like a 10-year-old kid, like fucking, I don't
Oh
know, I
my
had
gosh.
like a Walkman CD, you know, like fuck the police, you know, like stuff like that, you know. Yeah, all kinds of stuff. I was all over the place with all that kind of music. And yeah, I don't know, it was just like kind of a funny story. I actually originally wasn't even the singer for Nothing Special, dude.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
I didn't know
yeah.
that.
So going back to like the I Don't Care song, the first song on the album, when we were writing that, I was writing the drums. I was doing all the drums for everything. And so yeah, originally I'm a drummer actually.
You feel
So
okay. I didn't realize that. I must have missed that in the podcast.
that was like my first love for things for sure was playing the drums because like dude, growing up, I tried the guitar. Guitar was not for me. I joined band in like seventh grade, and I don't know why. I was just like, I want to play the drums, and they're like, oh, you can't do that until you've played the clarinet, which was a weird. Yeah,
What?
yeah, right, yeah, super
Where's
weird.
the
Yeah, I didn't understand that one, and or I think they're like, oh, you have to play a wind instrument for 1 year first, and I was like, fuck it, I'll play the clarinet because Squidward played the clarinet, and that was like actually my inspiration behind that was Squidward.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Well, I did that. And again, that was one like it didn't stick. I remember I actually got kicked out of band because like they're like, "Oh, so like you don't really want to be here, do you?" And I was like, "Nah." And they're like, "All right, you can just go." I was like, "All right, cool." And I
Oh
got
my
kicked out of
goodness.
band.
Oh my
But
gosh.
I don't know what it was, dude. The drums stuck, man. Like
Hmm.
I met my buddy. His name's David Mayer. I haven't talked to him in a while. I should hit him up. But
You should.
I we were talking. He was playing bass, and I was like, we met on Facebook of all things, which is kind of funny. And I it was his profile picture. I was like, "Oh, you play bass?" And he was like, "Yeah, what do you play?" And I was like, "Well," kind of internally, I was like, "Well, I mean, I have 3 years experience on drums from Rock Band on the PlayStation." I was like, "I'm a drummer, dude." And I conned my poor parents into buying me a drum set, and they did, dude. And that was just the only one that really stuck for me was drums.
You should have said, dude, dude, I do a mean clarinet. You play bass, like a clarinet. It's that match, man.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh my gosh.
But
Yeah, dude.
and then you just kind of, was there any like in particular influence? Oh, wait, can you actually close that door? Yes, I'm on. Come here. Just real quick. This is Cameron. Cameron, this is my son Elliot.
Hi,
Hello.
Elliot. Nice to meet you. I'm Cameron.
Nice to meet you too.
All right, that's good enough. All right. Now get
Later,
out of here.
Elliot.
He's just like me when I was young. I was a
That's
troublemaker.
gotta be awesome, though. I mean, come on. Come on. That's awesome.
Some things, yes, but some things it's like, oh no, 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 no. Oh, this is those things where you kind of go, God, was this really how I was like? And it's just like, yeah, and now you're getting kind of what you put out there.
Oh, that's
So,
awesome.
but it's also again, yeah, like I said, it's also pretty awesome too, because
Yeah.
I wouldn't have experienced a lot of things without him. So, who lit the spark underneath you when that kind of hit you, and you were like, okay, I don't know what this is, but I want more of it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh man, I for sure there's definitely a few different influences. Um, I mean, are you talking like band wise or
Just in general, like it could be
personally?
the Beatles, like when you were growing up or something, or whatever
Yeah.
it was.
Dude, honestly, and I think I dropped this in a couple of podcasts now because right, I've recorded a few more, but straight up, the story so far, dude, like no joke,
Okay.
those guys, um, it was fuck, dude. I even have like a picture, of it somewhere on my Instagram, but like it was like one of their holiday shows they did at the Gilman in Berkeley, and it was
Oh,
my first time seeing them. And my favorite song was "Empty Space" at the time. I remember like straight up, dude. All the bands there that night were super fucking sick.
yeah.
There's this band called U.S. Lights Brigade, and their singer recently passed away. You can't
Oh,
remember his name. Yeah, R.I.P. Dude, that band stood out to me big time.
I love
And then
that.
there was another band called Mobin's Child, which is Morgan Foster, and there's some kind of connection there. I think he's like a guitar tech or something like that for the story so far, also. But
Oh,
then obviously the headliner was the story so far. So right, like the whole night was just super fucking hype, dude. And they went on stage and they opened up with Empty Space. And right, it's got that sick like you know? And then
yep.
right as the drums kick in was right that dun-dun-dun, yeah, but right as the fucking drums kicked in, homeboy did a front flip into the crowd. And that was like my first time ever witnessing something like that. And I was just like, what the fuck? I was like, this is so sick. And it was just like, it was an instantaneous. I was like, I want to do a front flip into the crowd. I
Yeah,
was like,
yeah.
and that was it for me, dude. I was like, that was the sickest thing I'd ever seen. And like, fuck, man, that I want to say that was like, I feel like there's probably some sparks like along the way, but that was like the straw that broke the camel's back. I was like, dude, I have to start a fucking band. I have to do that.
Yeah.
And fuck, man, it's just like, and going to shows like after that, before that, all of it, just like the energy that is like, because it's like there's so much like back and forth, right? Like from the band to the crowd and to the crowd to the band. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? Like
Oh, yeah.
like just all that shit like that goes back and forth is like hands down like one of the fucking coolest things ever. And I think it's just like feeding off of that. It was like where I was like, dude, I want to do that. Yeah, I got it. I gotta say that's it for sure. That's probably where I'd give like 95% of like my credit to is the story so far, guys.
Did you actually ever meet them or anything like that?
I met very briefly. Actually, I think it was at that show. Was their guitar player. Fuck. I never know how to pronounce his last name. It's Will. I think it's Levy or Levy.
Okay.
Yeah, that dude. I met him very briefly. Because back in the day when I was like a freshman in high school, I was friends with a group of seniors who were they were in a band, and I think they were called Second to Last, I think. And those dudes actually like went and did like a little West Coast tour with the story so far.
Oh, wow.
Like yeah, off of Story's like first EP that they did like a little tour with them. And I think even somebody was trying to tell me, I don't know if it's true or not, but one of my boys is trying to tell me that the Story used to come and play like house shows like in Lodi, and I'm like, fucking Lodi? You
What?
know, yeah.
Really?
I'm like, man, what was fucking freshman year me doing? Why wasn't I going to these house shows?
No kidding. Oh my
Yeah,
gosh.
super sick. Yeah.
Oh wow, dude,
I
that's
was I was a
incredible.
little bit late to the game, man, but yeah, yeah. But yeah, I'd kind of been like I said, like messing around on the drums. And a big credit that that I give the drums to would be the guys in This Time Next Year. Cause like I remember my older brother bringing home a Warp Tour compilation disc.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
and, like we put it on the computer and like put it on our iPods, and like dude, I put it on like I had the iPod Shuffle, you know, and I'd put the iPod Shuffle in my pocket, and I would like put it through like my earmuffs that my dad had in the garage because he would work like carpentry stuff,
Oh, okay.
and I would just like plug in and I'd fucking crank it, and like I would just play along to like This Time Next Year, you know.
That's
And
awesome.
sometimes like Pierce the Veil was a big one for me too, but yeah,
Oh yeah,
there is
dude.
always like I said, like little sparks along the way where I was like, no, yeah, I love this shit. This is super cool. But that story show is for sure, like I said, like the spark that lit the fire for sure.
So then what then with the other guys from Nothing Special, yeah, like how did that whole thing start with you guys?
Dude, oh man, this is one of those. I'll keep it as short as I can. This is kind of a long-winded one, but because it all kind of started actually with me and my buddy Nick, who he was one of those dudes. He was part of that friend group that went on tour with Story, but he wasn't one of the band members.
Okay.
Um, but I just kind of happened to see him in passing after like years of not seeing each other because he graduated when I was a freshman, and I just happened to see him, and we fucking got in touch. We were like, hey, let's jam sometime. He's like, you play drums? And I was like, yeah. You play guitar? He's like, yeah. So we jammed, and literally that time we jammed, like I said, I was probably 18, 19. We wrote I Don't Care like that night, you know. And
That's so cool.
yeah. And then we had a couple guys come in and out. My buddy Austin, he jumped in on bass for a minute, and then they both ended up kind of like well, Nick ended up moving to LA. And then it was me and Austin. We were like, we need a guitar player. So we took a flyer, right, looking for a guitar player. We did that. We took it to a music go round in Stockton. And that's when Mike, our lead guitar player, he responded to me. He was like, hey, man, yeah, let's do some stuff. I was like, all right, cool. And then we met up with him and we were jamming shit out and we wrote a bunch of different stuff. And then
Did it click?
and
Did
then
it did it kind of click like right away with him, or was it something like just
yeah,
like you just kind of felt it immediately, going, "Oh crap, this is something."
dude. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
like everything he did, it was like super shreddy stuff. It was obvious right away. We're like, okay, he's the lead guitar player because like everything he was doing, like I said,
Well,
was
yeah.
shreddy and super fucking sick, you know? And yeah, it just like I said, like yeah, dude, like vibed right away. And then Jason, who's our rhythm guitar player. Funny enough, I actually met him on Reddit, of all
Hey,
places.
hey,
There's
I
a
understand. For me, it was
there's this
band mix. It was band mix for me.
fan
So
mix.
yeah.
We there's this subreddit called Make a Band, and I think it's still a thing. It's like super. There's like nobody on it though. So
Oh,
if you're looking to start a band, go check out Make a Band. But yeah, so we dropped an ad on there, and it's like, oh, who are your inspirations? And at the time, I was super into Trophy Eyes, and
oh, I've never heard
Trophy.
of them.
I was like, oh yeah, inspirations are Trophy Eyes, Blink, Newfound Glory, whoever it was. And
Mhm.
I was like, well, oh, we're looking to do like a pop punk thing, on like the heavier end. We want to, have some heavy shit. And not that we're heavy. We're not a heavy band. Don't get it twisted. But
No, no.
and, and he responded. He's like, "Oh yeah, like I fucking love Trophy Eyes, one of my favorite bands." And we met up. And this is kind of a funny story. We met up and we were both talking about Trophy Eyes. And there's a show they played in Santa Cruz. I think it's called The Catalyst was the venue.
Oh, that sounds
And
familiar.
yeah, I think it was there. And I was talking, I was like, yeah, I was at this show. I was like, there was like 14 people there. I was like, there's this band opening called The 100th. And he's like, I was at that show. And I was like, no fucking way. This is right, like years apart, like 3 or 4 years apart from each other. And it was so funny. I got home and I asked my girlfriend, I was like, hey, do you have that video from the Trophy Eyes show? And she's like, yeah. And she showed it to me. And like literally me and Jason, we didn't know each other for shit. We're just sitting there like shoulder bumping each other in a little like two-guy pit,
Oh my gosh.
It's so funny. Yeah, but yeah, we brought him along. He responded. And and right away, like, so he predominantly wrote Homesick. Like,
Wow.
yeah. Yeah, so he sent me that and I was like, "Whoa." I was like, "This is fucking sick." I was like, "Can we do this?" He was like, "Yeah,
Yeah,
man."
right?
Yeah. And yeah, and then we got Dylan, our drummer, is good friends with Mike, the lead guitar player.
Okay.
And Phil and Jason were in a band called Chaotic Bride together. And then he was like, all right, I'll hit up Phil. And then we're like, all right, cool. And then we started playing shows, man.
Really? And they just came together that quickly, huh?
Yeah. Well, I wouldn't say it was quickly because I think I
Oh, okay.
met Jason in 2020 for the first time. Yeah, I think when we actually met
Oh,
was
okay.
2020. And yeah, because I think that trophy I show is like 2016 or something, so it was years apart.
Okay.
But yeah, met in 2020, and then obviously we didn't play our first shows until 2024. So it was a long
Wow.
process. Like all those dudes like keep it super real too, because like there's times when like they've sent me guitar tracks and they're like, "Hey, do you want to put some vocals over this?" And I'll straight up be like, "Nah, this sucks, dude." And like it happens. And like I said, like kind of go back earlier, like it's not like when I send them like a vocal melody, it's not always just like, "Oh, me," like because there has been times too before where I'm like, oh, okay, I send them a thing and like I like it, but they're like, oh, what if you try, like instead of like hitting this up here, what if you like kind of come down here and then bring it up, or you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
we all kind of like feed off each other in that way too, so it's super sick.
Like, do you feel like a little more loose and more comfortable in your skin?
I think so. I think I still like dude, we have a show next week and like I even especially compared fuck okay so the very first show the very first show we did at Neck of the Woods was terrifying, like straight up. Like I remember a month ahead, Cameron from Adalemon, shout out,
Okay, yeah.
um he sent me the flyers, right? He's like, oh, we're playing these shows, okay, cool. But we had talked ahead of time, so I knew it was all kind of happening. And then, like, I'm not kidding, dude. When I saw his name pop up in my phone and I knew it was the flyer, my heart sank to my ass, dude. I was like, oh, I was like, this is real. This is happening. It was like genuine terror, dude. I was like, no. I was like, fuck. And I remember kind of talking to my girlfriend about it. I was like, I don't know. I was like, like this is gonna sound so horrible, but I remember asking her, I was like, do you think the guys would be mad at me if like I just don't show up at the show? And she was like,
Yeah.
yeah. And she was like, you're never gonna know like if you want to do it again if you don't do it, And I was like,
Yes.
fuck. I was
Yes.
like, yeah, that's true. I was like, I was like, I'll just power through, figure out if I actually want to do it or not. And we did, dude, like after that first show, because we had a couple homies come out. It was in San Francisco, and we had a few come out, and it was like it was just like really cool, like having our friends be like, "Whoa, no, that was sick," and
Yeah.
then even like a couple of complete strangers were like, "Whoa, you guys are really cool. Where you guys from?" And it's like, really, like that, really,
Yeah. Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
okay, sick, man. And yeah, dude, like I said, like and kind of like comparing it to like even now, I definitely feel a little more comfortable. Like I want to say like the anxiety doesn't kick in until maybe like until like we're walking on
Walk on
stage. You know what
stage.
I mean? Yeah. Whereas like before it was like the whole night, like sound check, I was dreading sound check, like
Yeah.
all that shit versus like now. And I'll say like I'll even like once we start 'cause, we typically open up with I don't care, and eh, once it starts it's kind of like, oh god, oh god, oh god, I can feel like my heart pounding in my
Yeah.
chest. But then like halfway through it, it's kind of like whatever, man. Like nobody gives a shit. It's
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
they're either gonna like it or they're not, and if they don't, they're gonna move on to something that they do like. You know what
Yeah.
I mean?
Yeah.
And honestly, even going off of that too, there's like a I feel like I kind of like adopted the state of mind like early on, like I said, going from that story show where it was like it wasn't even 100% about the music that was being played. It was about like the energy that they were giving off and feeding to the crowd and
Yeah.
back and forth. Because it's like I can't tell you how many times like we've gone to like local shows and it's like the bands are like not the best bands, but like they're fun as fuck to watch. So it's
Yeah.
like I want to
Yeah.
watch that again. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? And so I'll go back like next time they're around. So it's like, yeah, it's definitely like I personally think like when it comes to live shows, like 80% of it is the energy that's given and 20% of it's music. You know what I mean?
Yes, because you think about it now, that's the thing, right? If anytime, who was saying it? Shoot. Someone was saying like, yeah, if you're wanting to listen to the band play, I get it. Then yeah, their CDs are kind of that's what it's for. That the music online to listen to them, the albums, that's what they're for to listen to.
Right.
And even maybe some that kind of goes with some bigger bands, but a lot of times nowadays you we can listen to that CD, but we don't get to see these people live. So
Yeah.
when you see them live, you want it to be memorable. Like you want it to be that energy. That's why, again, I'm going to bring it up, but that's why when I haven't been on the stage since Johnny asked me to be in the Filthy Kids. I hadn't been on
Uh,
stage since like I don't know. I think it was like 2011 or something.
okay.
And when I'm on stage though, like I just get into it. There's some it's that's that flow,
Yeah.
and I want to bring it and I want it back. No matter
Yeah.
how small the crowd is. I've been in punk bands. I know the three or four people that stand around and watch the show, and two of them are girlfriends. But 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 there's something about um when I came back on and playing for the Filthy Kids and watching Johnny play live, like not even just like the practice I was kind of feeling, and I was trying to get that kind of energy. And then when we started getting to it and I started learning the songs more, it was starting to bring it more out of me again because I was finally starting to get more comfortable. Like, because it's like riding a bike. You can do it, but it's like sometimes it takes a little while to get back into it. And
Yeah.
when we first started to play, and I saw Johnny's actual presence, I was like,
Dude.
"That's it, man. That's me and
Yeah.
him. Me and him. We're
Yep.
gonna do it. We're gonna do it."
Yep.
And so I just started jumping around, moving around too, because it's like, yeah, dude, because I feel it. You're bringing it. And again, we had like maybe like our first show was probably like 25 people or something like that. But like, again, it didn't matter. Johnny was on it, man. He was bringing it
Dude.
to the crowd, and I love that because every time I see pictures now, even though I'm in a different state, and I see videos, I see Johnny making it for those people that are there. He wants them to remember the Filthy Kids. He wants to bring that energy, and I love that he does it every single time. And
Dude.
I'm kind of proud of Nate. I'm not. I hope this doesn't sound like I'm squashing Nate, but I know Nate is a little more reserved when he's playing guitar. But a couple of videos I saw him, he was starting to kind of move, like shaking his head and getting into it a little. I'm like, yes, Keep going, man. You
Yeah.
get out of that shell, Nate. Come on, get there. You can run around, jump around.
Nate,
So
kick somebody in the face, man. Give it.
but yeah, dude, I love that you even the little bit that I got to see you, and it just and you got the little that foot tapping thing that you do. I love that. And that's I don't know, but you guys bring it when you play, and I loved that I got to see a little bit of the video when you guys were playing that last show. But yeah, I totally agree, man. When people nowadays, you you got to bring more than just the music, honestly. And I
Yeah.
think that would be so again, people are so wanting to be noticed nowadays more than anything, it seems like. So if that's what your goal is, then make it worth the trip. Go
No, no,
on.
no. Dude, honestly, like I'm agreeing with everything you're saying. Like it really is. It's like I said, like 80% energy, 20% music when it comes to a live show for sure.
Well, you guys bring it, man. I think so. So the times that
Dude,
I got to
hell
see
yeah,
you,
thank you.
even the videos, I could say the same thing. But
Hell yeah, I appreciate that, dude.
what's one of the most memorable shows that you've played as far as maybe either the connection with the crowd or maybe the band you played with, or what are some maybe some memorable moments since you guys have been playing?
I want to say for sure, right here in my personal hometown, Lodi, California, we had a super cool spot for a little while. RIP Wildwood. It's called Wildwood Skate Shop. It's closed down now, but
Ah,
they did a super cool like festival in August this past year, and we got to be a part of it. And shit, by that point, that was probably like our fifth show that we had done, maybe.
oh, so
Um,
that was shortly after
yeah,
around
yeah,
when
yeah.
I left. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, because we didn't have too many after that, but we got put on that one, and dude, that was like it was so sick because it was fucking packed. So it was kind of like I said,
Yes.
kind of like a festival thing where like right they had like a pop punk emo stage, and then they had like a hardcore stage, and instead of like playing at the same time, they're kind of going back and forth like this, back and forth, back and forth. Right,
Interesting.
like it was so fucking cool because like right like the hardcore kids came over and watched our set, you know what I mean, and then like the
Yeah.
pop punk and emo kids went over, right, and like it was just back and forth. And I think we were the second, yeah, because first they had this super cool band called Cinnamon Challenge. I think they're also based out of Sac. They're like a
Oh,
hardcore band. They're
oh,
super cool.
I'll check them out.
And they played, and then we played right after them at the other stage, and like we were playing, doing our thing, like, fucking like going ham. And then the breakdown for I am the breakdown. We have that one
Yeah.
like part. We had a homie who showed up. He lives in San Jose. His name's Nico. Shout out Nico. And he showed up. He knew all the lyrics. And I looked at him and he was like, "Uh-huh." I was like, "All right, sick." And he came up on stage. I handed him the mic
Oh, is that
and
that
like,
video?
"Oh, probably."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
That
dude.
was
And
it.
then yeah, and then we had like a little like mini pit going on, and like, dude, that for me was like the sickest fucking thing. I was like, yo, some of these kids are like actually like throwing down in the pit right now. I was like, I'm
Yeah. It's
gonna get out of the
awesome.
way so I don't get a busted lip and then have to go back, you know. But it was, dude, it was that for sure. Like for me, it was like a moment where it was like, oh my God, like, dude, people are having fun. Like,
Yeah.
this
Yeah.
big. It's not just me having fun, they're having fun too. Yeah, it was, dude, that was, man, that's for sure probably the most memorable one I have right now. It was literally right after that, right? We finished the last song, we started packing up, and I had like two different kids come up like, "Hey bro, can I get a picture?" And I was like, "Bro, you can see me at Walmart on Tuesday." I'm like, but yeah, like if you want, And so they like took a picture. I'm like, I don't know, that was crazy. And then after that, just in December, we played with Adelemon again at the Cafe Colonial,
Okay.
and we had, oh man, these two kids from Stockton drove to Sacramento to watch us, and I was like, yeah, yeah, yeah,
Wow.
that was insane to me, dude, because I was
Yeah.
like, I mean, like, no joke. I mean, we're named Nothing Special for a reason because, like, that's how we've always felt. We're like, dude, it's nothing. You know what I mean? Like, whatever.
Yeah.
But like, these two kids drove through, and it was like a stormy night too. Dude, they drove like an hour
Wow.
just to come watch us play. I was like, what the fuck? I was like,
Yeah.
so crazy, man. They're super cool. and I want to say, if I'm not mistaken, I think they're in high school. So it's like yeah, I was like baffled. I was like, holy shit. And they came up there talking. They were like, yeah, we're from Stockton. I was like, why are you here? You know?
Yeah,
They're like, oh, we came to see you. I'm like, no, what? Why? You know, it was
dude.
so wild. It was so cool, dude. It was so cool.
I love that, dude. That's what's so cool is right now you're doing what you were hoping, like that you were inspired to when you were a kid, and now you're bringing that to these kids, man. You're bringing that to
Dude.
them, like, yeah, one day, me and Mark went and drove all the way to go see, Nothing Special,
Yeah,
and
yeah, yeah,
they're going to
yeah.
be talking about that when they get older because you
Dude.
inspired them, dude. Oh, see,
Yeah.
I love that. This is stuff I eat up, man. I freaking love it. Oh, it's so great, dude.
Dude, yeah, it was wild. That's for sure going to be a lasting memory for sure. Was when they said, "Yeah, we're
Totally.
from Stockton." Okay. Whoa.
You got a long drive, guys.
Yeah.
No, dude, that's so cool. Okay, so okay, real quick before I go into the podcast, but
Yeah.
have you been able to do a front flip into a crowd yet?
Not yet. There's not enough people there to catch me. I think I
Still
should
punk
probably
rock
also
shows.
try. Yeah, yeah. I
Wait,
think
what
I
was
should
that?
probably also, I think I should also probably try to get rid of the beer gut before before I try to do so. I was a lot younger then, and I'm not so sure it'd be as kindly taken now if I were to. So. Yeah.
Okay, so then with all this, man, this has been wow, that's so cool. Just kind of how things kind of come together. Um, what brought on what brought on the idea for the podcast, the Melody Makers?
Oh, dude. Honestly, boredom.
Really?
I want to say like because it's so I'm a longtime listener of there's a really cool podcast called the Lead Singer Syndrome,
I've
and
heard of
it's
that one, yeah.
yeah, so it's the host is Shane Told of Silverstein.
Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Okay,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah. And it's super sick, and like I always loved the way he like conducted his questions and stuff. Like it was always like you got like sick insight onto the musicians he was talking to. But my thing was like they're all like it's always a lead singer,
Hmm.
and they're all like these big bands. And I was like, dude, like I want to talk to like I mean, I would love to talk to big bands too. It'd be really cool. But like I'm like, but I think it's really cool to like have kind of like a platform for like these smaller bands, but also people who are like, you know what I mean? Like sometimes I want to hear from the bass player's perspective, or like sometimes I want to hear from like the dude who's running door at the show. You know what I mean? Like even that stuff. Like I don't know. I kind of wanted it to be like a platform of like information for like maybe like a kid who wants to start a band but maybe doesn't necessarily know what to do. You know what I mean?
Oh
Like
yeah,
it
yeah.
was, it was kind of with that in mind, but I kind of get myself caught up in like asking more like questions like, "Oh dude, let's talk about like what your band is as opposed to why your band is why it is." You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So like
yeah.
I
Okay.
I've kind of like gone a little bit left that way, but I yeah, yeah.
No, I get that totally. I mean, again, that's kind of what I'm doing, you
Yeah,
know?
yeah, yeah.
And I think that it's great that people like you are doing that kind of thing because I feel like, yeah, there's enough. I, it's not putting down anybody big or even bigger than than the little bands, because I know there's some bands that are starting to get pretty popular nowadays,
Mhm.
um, but it's like there's still a lot of people trying, like you said, like there's that kid that's like, is my band ever gonna get on there, or like anybody
Yeah.
gonna notice my band? And here's the thing,
Right.
like if for stage diving with Scotty, I I try to do a thing where I like what I like,
Mhm.
and it's not this isn't a stab or anything like that, but it's like there's also some bands that aren't necessarily for me, but I love the
Yeah.
people, and
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
like,
yeah,
and the
yeah.
thing is like even if I'm being may not like, and not necessarily on my show, but like in general, I'm promoting or giving a shout out to, um, there's someone that's gonna like we were talking earlier, is there someone that likes that style or someone likes that person's vocals or that kind of thing?
Dude,
And I'm
yeah.
leaving it up to those people, but I want to be that person that can still bring it for those people who aren't getting that, you know,
Exactly.
or
Yeah.
very little of it.
Right.
So
Yeah.
when I start seeing bands and they have like maybe like 5,000 followers on Instagram and higher, I kind of like lay a little bit low from that and go, okay, well, it would be fun to talk to them. To me, that's kind of big to me, like bigger bands in
Yeah.
a
No,
way.
same.
But yeah, I look at a lot of times when I go to IG and I see there's like 200 followers or 400 followers. I go, okay, that's what I'm looking for, you know,
Yeah. Yeah.
or even again, or even just under 5,000. I kind of what I'm aiming for, but again, like you were saying, it really is a thing of just I want people to have that moment, that chance where because if I had if that kind of thing back when I was younger, I would have loved to have been on this show or in this magazine or this person's
Yeah.
zine, because
Yeah.
this
Yeah. Yeah.
zine and that zine was kind of the thing. And
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
but yeah, the fact that when I saw that you've had you're creating your own podcast, The Melody Makers, and Johnny was your first guest, I was like,
Yeah.
dude, that's awesome. I'm glad that there's more of that going on. And Johnny's a great guest, and man, that guy's got
Dude,
stories, and
yes.
he's such a kind heart and a great guy,
Yes.
man.
Dude, I
But
fucking love Johnny so much, dude. Yeah, that was for sure like a very like just good choice to have as like a first episode, dude. Because like yeah, that was that was awesome having him on, dude, for sure.
yeah, he really is. I was very impressed when I got to talk to him the very first time, and
Mhm.
then him actually asking me to be in the band, and then building that relationship and seeing what a freaking beast this guy is as far as working hard. Holy
Dude.
crap, dude.
Oh
People need
my
to take
God.
notes with Johnny. Johnny is such a go get 'em guy. I've never seen
Yeah.
someone more go get 'em I think in my life than that guy
Yeah.
is right now. It's
No, for sure.
insane.
Dude, that's like an inspiration in ways where it's like because he's out there, he's recording music videos for other bands. He's obviously working on his own projects and whatnot, right? And he's recording other bands too at his studio. You know what I mean? Like he's doing it for sure, dude. It's so fucking cool.
So with the future of Melody Makers, what are you seeing? Are you just seeing it just as a continued like interviews and just kind of just like 'cause I remember you said that you're gonna just keep on doing this till like you can, as long as you can. Is it something that
Yeah.
you kind of just see developing into something else or doing like live interviews, like going to shows and doing like some live chats?
I've kind of considered that before for sure. I because like through the platform also, I don't know if you've seen, I kind of, I think I just recently posted the flyer, but like through it I'm also gonna like start booking bands and stuff too,
Oh yeah,
because
okay.
my thought is like, yeah, because my thought was kind of like, okay, if I can catch more eyes by like through doing interviews and stuff, then you know what I mean, maybe I can kind of showcase these bands that I like to people who are listening to the podcast also, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? And I'm like,
Absolutely.
if I'm working like two different aspects, I guess, I can draw their attention to this band or that band in either sense of the way. Yeah, and it's like, yeah, man, for me it's for sure. It's also like all very selfishly motivated. The reason I started booking shows is so I could go to shows for free.
Yeah.
I
I
got
love it.
tired of paying for them. I was like, I'm just gonna book them, and then that way I can just go in.
I love it. I love it.
It's a
Hey, this
lot more work, but
but that's nice though. That's a nice thing. I like that. I like that. All right. And you guys are currently recording with Ben, or are you guys with something else?
No, yeah, yeah, yeah. So oh gosh, I can't even remember when it was, but so we're working on an acoustic EP right now too, and so we've recorded a couple, and then we kind of took like a little bit of a pause. I think it was somewhat unintentional, and we were like, oh wait, hey, maybe we should finish those songs so we can go record them with Ben. So I've been meeting up with Mike, our lead guitar player, because that's where we record like all the demos. So I've been kind of meeting up with him, and we're kind of finishing up the I think we have like two more songs. No, one more, two more, two more, one more, two more songs that we're like wrapping up, and then we're gonna go back to the studio with Ben and kind of put it all together as an EP. So we're kind of like in and out a little bit from a studio because right, I mean obviously but you kind of want to have everything put together before you go to the studio to some extent anyway. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah,
Yeah, you want to be at like at least in my opinion like 95% finished. So
yeah, yeah, yeah. Is that the idea? Is to do another an acoustic releases and then another regular punk EP or whatever?
yeah, yeah. So we're gonna do like yeah, and we're also working on those at the same time, which is probably counterintuitive, but I think you'd want to get one finished before the next, but we're kind of trying to do it all at the same time, I guess. But
Hey, if you can,
yeah,
you might as well.
yeah, yeah. We kind of have I guess yeah. Fuck it. I'll throw it out there. We have like a potentially pretty cool connect with a sick producer in LA, who I think we might go and record like a full length with down
Really?
there. Yeah, yeah, yeah. But I think we're kind of gonna try to do the thing where we like demo it out first. Like when you what I think what we're gonna do is we're gonna kind of like demo it out and like ship out the electronic press to like labels and stuff,
Oh,
and
okay,
maybe
okay.
do some like label shopping just to see if we can get maybe somebody likes us enough to help us out with the studio costs because I'm sure as you know those can get pretty fucking wild.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Other than like me being a ding dong right now and just and wearing the shirt and stuff now, is it have you actually watched someone down the street and seeing them with a nothing special shirt on?
No, not
Not
yet.
yet, not yet.
We had a my girlfriend's cousin, shout out Valerie and Brian. My girlfriend's cousin Valerie, her boyfriend Brian, one day he was wearing it, and then Valerie sent me and my girlfriend a picture of him. He was like, I think they were on their way to the dog park or something like that. And he was like, oh hey. And I was like, oh hell yeah. But yeah, no, I haven't seen any strangers with it, not quite yet.
No, okay, okay. One day you will. That's gonna be a good
Hopefully.
feeling, man. That's gonna be a good
That'd be
feeling.
cool. Hell yeah.
Okay, well, I will close off with maybe a couple questions, some little this and that's kind of a thing. Okay, so coffee or tea?
Coffee.
Coffee.
Wait,
Okay.
wait, hang on. Oh, wait. Okay. In the morning, coffee, but I do drink chamomile at night before I go to bed.
Oh, okay. Okay. No, okay. I got you.
I
I
guess
got you.
both. But I prefer the taste of coffee over tea, I guess.
Okay, I'm gonna ask this because I'm a coffee snob. What do you drink? Do you have a particular roastery do you go to or get?
I
You say
tried
Starbucks. If you say Starbucks, I'm gonna slap you through this thing.
I would gracefully allow that. I always go for just light roast. I don't know. Just
You
light.
don't care who from?
Not really, no. I
Uh,
want to try that because I talked to Cameron from Lemon on the Melody Makers. I think he was episode 2, and we talked about I didn't know, but Green Day makes a coffee called Punk Bunny Coffee, and so
oh yeah,
I've
yeah.
been
Okay.
meaning to try that, but I haven't gotten the chance yet.
Okay, so oh yeah, pizza or burger?
Fuck. Pizza, yeah, yeah, pizza for sure, yeah.
Okay, okay, or how about just tacos? You
Oh,
not a taco fan?
compared to both, or
Like, would you take tacos over pizza or beer? Or beer?
I'll take beer over everything, dude.
Whoops, that didn't work. Sorry.
Uh, Oh man, over yeah, nope, still pizza, still
Still
pizza.
pizza. Okay. And what? Okay, what kind of pizza?
Dude, classic pepperoni. I very boring guy. I'm
No,
sorry, but just classic pepperoni.
dude, don't overcomplicate things. I get it, man. Absolutely. Book or movie?
Oh man. Probably gosh. Probably a book, but I've gotten very bad in the last few years and I don't read as much as I should. Actually just started recently reading again, like literally like 2 days ago. I picked a
Really?
book up. It's it's called Oh my God, what's it called? I don't remember.
Is
I
it
don't remember what it's
fiction,
called.
fantasy? Is it
Yeah,
a
yeah, it's
bio?
fiction. It's
Okay.
fiction. It's like super dark, dude. It's like very depressing. But
Oh, goody.
yeah, 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 yeah. I can't remember what it's called now, but yeah, yeah. And I prefer paperback if you're gonna ask that one.
Well, no, but I'm with you on that one. Yeah, big time. If you had the chance to sit in the studio with one of your favorite bands creating an album, which album and which band? You can even like name a couple if you want. I've kind of given in a little bit, but because I know it's hard to just do one. But what
Yeah.
band and album would you have loved to have been in the studio as they were making it?
Oh my God. Is it okay if they're not together anymore?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay, okay. For sure would be this time next year, their album Roadmaps and Heart Attacks. If I could have been there for that, I think I would have cried just nonstop. It would have just been nonstop tears of joy.
I'll have to
That is,
listen to that. I'll have to listen to that.
dude, no joke, hands down to this day. I think that album came out like 2010. So like 15 years later, I still, if it pops up like on my Spotify or whatever, it is a no skip album through and through.
Love that. No, that's good. That's a perfect album. That's what we call a
Yeah,
perfect album. All right.
yeah.
Anybody else, or is it just mainly that one?
Oh gosh, definitely that one. Yeah, I'll throw a second one. Would definitely be Story So Far. What You Don't See. That one is definitely also that's another one. No skips through and through.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay. I haven't listened to either one of those, so I will have to give those a tumble because that's why that's one of the things I love about the end question because it's like I never heard that band, I'll check them out, or
Yeah.
I didn't listen to that album, I'll listen to that album. So
Yep. Yep.
that's
Yeah.
awesome, man.
Hell
Well,
yeah.
man, Cameron, thank you so much for your time, man. I'm so glad we did this. You are such a joy to talk to.
Bye.
Oh, okay. Oh, bye, Cameron. Sure, I'll just edit that in. I don't.
Gotta find a place to make my own homesick.